Hey, you guys. Hi. Welcome to Midweek with Meaning. I am outside. Oh, there go my dogs. So, hey, I'm really happy to be coming to you live and direct from my own glorious backyard in a glorious springtime day. If you're watching live, please say hello, put something in the chat so I know that you're here. And if you're watching replay, please put replay in the comments. You're probably going to have these clowns entertaining you for this entire conversation. And then over in that area over there are the ladies. That's where the chickens live. So you may get a visit from all of the neighborhood animals. I've had to keep this on my face because it's really bright. I can't, I'm melting. But yeah, so it's a little bright, and I'm just so happy to be coming to you from here. There they go. Just let me know if the sound's okay. I'm using my headphones today. I'm hoping the sound is okay. So maybe give me a thumbs up if you're watching and everything's okay, or a thumbs down if it's like not that great. I'm really, really excited about today's talk as well. I've been percolating on this concept for a while, and then also receiving a bunch of coaching personally about this in the groups that I'm in. There goes the neighbor dog barking, so don't mind them. Today I want to talk about discipline and desire. So my name is Angela Ward. I was told recently that I am a soul midwife, which I think is a really, really fun title. I'm a registered nurse and transformational coach and CEO of Guardian at the Gateway, where we help you journey within and return renewed. So, and part of the way that we do that is thinking through these really interesting ideas about how we are and how we're living and how we want to live. So, discipline and desire. Where do I want to begin with this? This is really on my mind today and ongoing because I think there's many different connotations when we talk about what discipline means and what desire means. I think that there is a concept in our culture that discipline is either very negative, like disciplining your child by spanking them or something like that, or a kink, right? So there's the S&M discipline approach, or there's maybe more of the aggressive or maybe more domineering form of discipline, which I don't think is very attractive. I don't know, maybe the S&M discipline is fun, but at the same time, that's not like really super motivating in your day-to-day life, perhaps. Whoa, see, there they go. And then the other concept around desire is, I think, first of all, that we consider desire as problematic, perhaps. And I think we also consider desire related to sexuality. I think there is some flavor there around desire, but there's also this desire of wanting or longing for something. And I think in order for us to really move into the direction we're wanting to head in our lives, we need to have both of these things balanced. So anyone that's spent some time working with me, I find that for me and for my clients, sometimes when we start moving into the arena of discipline, I think that discipline is an area where the disruptive voice can come up, where that really negative, sabotaging self-talk can come up that actually can inhibit taking action in a positive way. It can be self-sabotaging. Although for some people, it works really great. Wow, the light changed on my screen. But my orientation is to find a way to bring in this sense of discipline that's also self-driven, with a way that feels in alignment with your true core, with your true desires. So in getting ready to talk about this, of course, lately I've been reading a lot and researching a lot of different inspiration around this. So the first one I want to share is a quote from Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill said that the starting point of all achievement is desire. Keep this constantly in mind. Weak desire brings weak results. just as a small fire makes a small amount of heat. So in order for us to think about how we would like to improve our lives or the direction we're wanting to head, it can't just come from a place of thinking, well, I should exercise more because it's the right thing to do. I should eat better because I should do that. I should read more books because that's what people do. Instead of coming from this kind of this place of shoulding because it's not truly part of your desire. It's coming from more of a disciplinary place that's not really motivating. It doesn't actually allow us to achieve our goals. It's really difficult to get there from that place. Desire is kind of the vibration of our motivation. And what I mean by that is, well, one of my coaches, Adele Telvin, says that when you desire something, desire comes from God. She says it like that, or comes from source. That desire is there because it's something that you are meant to kind of move into and achieve. So that if you're desiring something, it's also available for you to get to. It's a motivator. Another quote that I came across says, dreams come true when desire transforms into concrete actions, which I think is also really crucial. We have to have this action that can move us in the direction of our desire. Now, as a brief side note, maybe it's not so brief. I think many people don't really have an understanding of desire, of, first of all, knowing what you desire. Does anyone have a problem with that? Raise your hand if it's taken you some time to figure out what you truly desire. And I think a number of us also aren't able to claim our desire, meaning I find this especially with women, that it's not okay to want what you want. I think I've struggled with this too, to be really clear that there are certain things that are socially acceptable to desire, but there's those deeper dreams of your heart of how you'd like your life to look or feel. There's a lot of mental chatter that stops us, that tells us why we can't desire it. And I think it takes a lot of courage for us to understand what it even is. For me, one of the challenges I run into is my life's pretty good. I mean, look at this. I got a sweet ass backyard and I got 2 ridiculous dogs that are yelling at the neighbor's dog across the fence right now. It's a gorgeous sunny day. I count my blessings. I definitely think that there are many things about my life that are absolutely perfect. And why would I desire anything else? And yet, desire is that thing that keeps the drive going. It's easiest to relate to it in a sexual way because desire in a sexual way fuels that kind of energetic fire, right? But in our just basic day-to-day life, desire also is what kind of keeps that motivation moving. So it's kind of like this spark. But then it requires, once we've kind of gotten clear about what our desires are, that requires this self-discipline in order to move into that direction. So what is discipline? Well, my dog has a donut right now, so he's not being very disciplined around not eating sugar. No, it's a squeaky donut. It's a toy. So what I like to think about discipline is it's simply choosing between what you want now and what you want most, what you most desire. Easier said than done, right? Easier said than done. But part of this is being able to get very clear about what we want and the direction that we're heading. This is another quote that I think is fantastic. Self-discipline begins with mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do. So there's this level of self-awareness around understanding what your desire and your goals, what your vision for yourself is, letting you know that it's okay to desire that, and then being able to move your thoughts in the direction of that goal. If you are someone who, oh gosh, let's see a good one that I might have as a personal example. Well, one of the things I'm doing right now in the Full Spectrum Vitality Collective, we are working on developing a spiritual practice. And for me, I've taken on this practice of handwriting out a Buddhist teaching. And it's long and it's a little cumbersome because of the way that the language is used. And when I'm doing this, it can be especially easy for me to start rambling my thoughts off of, this is dumb, why am I doing this? What a waste of time. There's no value here. Or, oh my God, or critiquing the way that it's written. Like my thoughts can go into a million different areas. But I've made an agreement with myself that I am going to do this as an effort for a spiritual practice, as a discipline, a disciplinary practice. So when I start spinning as I'm doing this practice and I notice my thoughts traveling out this direction, I recognize that I'm not controlling my thoughts and it's making what I'm doing very difficult. So it's very helpful for me instead to slow down, to remember my goal. And what I'm desiring here is to be immersed in a practice that is simply for learning and a place for comprehension of a text that I know nothing about, and just to see what treasure may or may not be there. Like, my intention in this practice is not for me to critique it step by step, but to be immersed in it, right? To understand it as I go through it, to kind of just be in the process. So as I get ready to do this practice daily, I have to kind of clear my mind of those distracting thoughts and control that my thoughts are. I'm curious and I'm staying engaged with this process to see what the outcome might be. So this is really helping master my thoughts because I'm able to focus it in the direction that I want, and then it allows me to control what I'm doing. So I wonder what ways that you might have challenges that your thoughts might distract you from your self-disciplinary action. Also, there's this. Discipline is remembering what you want. I have a little sign taped on my computer, not this one, but my one in my office, that reminds me that I am staying committed to the vision of what I want. I have to, when I get distracted, it's important for me to recall, oh yeah, these are my goals. This is why I'm doing this. Crazy trains over here. And of course, that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. And that's really important to remember, that if we're aiming to achieve a goal, we have to bring this discipline in. So how can we do this? How can we bring discipline into our desires? I think one of the best ways to begin is to keep your desires in front of you. And perhaps that is a journaling practice. Right now in the Full Spectrum Vitality Collective, or in our Mighty Network, we are in the middle of a 10-day journaling challenge. You are welcome to join. Just text GG Journal to 44222. And there's still plenty of time to connect. We're on day 3. And by being engaged in a practice of journaling, for me, it helps me keep that vision in the front of my mind. It helps me remember that there's a direction I'm going. Hey! You know how it is. Disciplining dogs. So the journaling piece really, really helps first and foremost. And then how else do I keep that in mind? Another practice is to start thinking through my obstacles of, if I know that I am going to, one of the goals I have is to be healthier. And one of the ways I choose to do that is to move more. I'm going to make sure that I find ways, I imagine why I might stop doing that, why I might choose a different route instead of taking the action that I desire. I like to think through it first, think through my obstacles first, and figure out how I'm going to get myself around that obstacle. So let's say this is part of what we teach in the Full Spectrum Vitality Collective is habit stacking. And how do we find ways to just make the next step simple, right? How do we make the next step simple? If I'm going to go for a walk, then I'm dedicated to it. The obstacle might be, well, I can't find anything to wear. So let me get my stuff prepared. Or I feel like I need to get engaged on a call, or I need to do something like that. So then I think, well, maybe I need to bring my earbuds and bring my phone and be able to listen to something while I'm walking. So it's to look at all those obstacles and the reasons why they won't work. So that helps me maintain that discipline. And it helps me to maintain the idea around the desire. So with that in mind, my challenge for you this week is, first of all, to get really clear about what your desire is. What are you longing for? If you could have whatever you wanted, and sure, your list might start with $1 million and a fancy car, or a trip to Cabo, or I don't know what your list is, but I want you to go deeper. I want you to go deeper, because really when we think about desire, it's about how you want to feel. How do you want to feel? And how do you want to show up in the world? And who do you want surrounding you? How do you want to express love more deeply, perhaps? Like, get oriented to that desire. And we could certainly think about ways to get there, but let's start building in some discipline and keep your eye on the prize. We're going that way. Keep that fire stoked. So please take some time this week to get in touch with your desire, to write it down and get really clear about it. And then take some time to discipline your mind using love and compassion. None of this finger wagging, what a terrible human you are if you don't do these things, but from a place of like, yes, let's keep moving the direction you want to head. And how might you build in some discipline into your practice, into your daily life to move you in the direction of your desires? So if you're willing to share, I would love to hear, post in the comments, or maybe come back later this week and share what you're noticing your desire is, what you're hoping to go for, and how you might use discipline to help you get there. So that's what I have to share with you, loves, today. This is Mr. Tamaki right here, who is almost a year old. Isn't he the cutest pup? And I really thank you for joining me. Again, we're still in the very beginning of our 10-day journal challenge. If you'd like to join, text GG for Guardian at the Gateway, GG journal to 44222, and we would love to see you in there, help getting you like writing and getting your brain around what you're hoping to accomplish. All right. Have a great day, my loves, and I'll see you this time next week. Bye.